Hi everyone, it's Laura at Sheer Passion. Thanks for tuning in. It's one day after Christmas, and I wanted to get on here and I wanted to just let you know where we're at and to be an encouragement and to be honest of where I am personally in my walk with the Lord and my marriage, and hopefully speak a little bit for my husband, just because we've been able to share things with one another. So Christmas to me is really truly about our spiritual walk. And I think, like a lot of us, I was born into a family that was able to give gifts. And so please, let's not make this about whether or not we give gifts or not. The way that I think is if each one of our families could not give gifts and still see and sense the value of our family and of our salvation, then we would give gifts that really truly generate an understanding of what our relationship looked like all year long. So let me state that again. Gifts are not the problem at Christmas time, but if families could take gifts off the table and just make it about the relationship that we have, would we be able to see and sense the value of the relationships and the people that we buy gifts for? You know, if you can take gifts off the table and all you have left to look at is what you have throughout the year, spending time and being together and doing things to be accomplished in God's name, I think that we can all agree then, isn't it odd that we all get gifts on somebody else's birthday? I mean, we wouldn't do that in our own families. So we have to realize that the gift is salvation. I don't think gifts are an issue. I think gifts are part of a love language. If any of you have ever read that book, The 5 Love Languages, or the Bible, you will know that there's lots of times where gifts came into play, especially on the day that Jesus was born. He was given gifts in the manger. So gifts are a way to show love, but it is definitely not the first way to show love. Because if you think rationally, you couldn't just gift everything in the world and have full accountability and responsibility to the way that we think and feel and act. I've shared with you so often that the way that I see the world is that we have feelings. I like to think through those feelings and then take action. I definitely don't always take the right action in the beginning. And a lot of times actions that are taken can be misconceived. Do you know that if we give a gift to one another, but we have treated each other poorly, the gift in that moment does not actually make it better? The gift brings up questions as to why you would buy something when you were unable to act in a way throughout the year that would tell the person that of course you would get a gift. Maybe you're not following me on that one. If there is a woman or a man in your life that is continually rude or disrespectful, and Christmas time came where we gave each other gifts, would you expect a gift from that person? I would have to say no, because you would see that the relationship throughout the year did not merit the gift. Now the gift becomes confusion. The gift becomes, why would you do that? The gift is very hard to accept because all the actions taken throughout the year left feelings and thinking that didn't merit the gift giving. See, these are some of the things that I find so much joy in sitting at home and recognizing that, you know, we all have feelings and we all have thoughts. Do we use both our feelings and our thoughts to create better action? Sometimes just being the woman that I want to be requires me to act differently than I feel. If I'm angry or I'm tired or I'm irritated, acting out on those emotions isn't applicable all the time. If I'm still at work and I have 3 more clients to go and I'm tired and I'm hungry, I choose to overlook that and I choose to treat the woman and the hair that I'm about to do as the most important part. That doesn't mean I don't have those real feelings. I've just learned to put those aside. I've learned to think through it, and to be quite honest with you, I've learned to bring extra protein powders and drink extra water while I'm at work. So the responsibility and accountability comes back on me, but I still get the feeling of being hungry. I still get the feeling of being tired. I'm never going to be able to not have those feelings, but I do take action to be the woman that I want to be, which means I don't act on those feelings. I've learned to think through them, and I've learned to take the action that says I'm still held responsible to do my job. You know, Christmas time is so special to me, and it has always been a juggle of who's in control of the actual place that we celebrate, and then how our families interact through that. So I wanted to come on here and be an encouragement to you that this year has been very tough for my husband and I. We are learning that we think really differently about the same situations where we can agree that our feelings match up. So if a husband and wife can have feelings that things aren't going exactly the way they'd like, and we're both thinking through them, and we think we're taking the right type of action to fix them, but we're also leaving each other more hurt and more confused, it's because communication is lacking. We're really not understanding what we need. And sometimes the only thing we need is time. You know, while we're waiting the entire year to get to December 25th to celebrate with our families, a lot of times during the year, you might have felt like you weren't loved or you weren't taken care of. You might have felt like people had overlooked you or that you weren't important. And then that one day comes and we're needing to be focused on the salvation that God has given us through the birth of his son. You know, we have learned in our family not to buy gifts because we find our value prior to the gift. It is a form of love. And I think it's very important to understand that giving a gift is a way to show love, but it cannot be the only way. And like I said before, if gifts were the ability to make everything work well, we'd all be able to buy gifts throughout the year and have less responsibility to learn how to communicate. Gifts are a part of the love language that we are as people, but we also need communication. We need physical touch like hugs and kisses. We need quality time. We need acts of service like going to work, making money, helping clean the house, helping take care of the kids, taking care of parents, taking care of family members, co-workers. And gifts is part of that, but it is not first. And this holiday season has taught me so much that we were given the biggest gift of salvation, but we find this time to fall into the commercialization of thinking that the Christmas morning we are going to find so much wonderful things under the Christmas tree, when the reality is it would have needed to be the whole year long, really working on being accountable, to be responsible, to be the kind of people that we need to be, which forces us to take action, to act correctly after we realize that we're like everyone else. We all have feelings and we all have thoughts, but are we using those feelings and thoughts to take action? I'll be the first to let you know that when I get angry, I'm like a puffer fish. I blow up and it'll take me hours to come back down to where I was before. Now, anger is a funny thing. It doesn't stick around for very long, but while it's around, it can do damage. Let me encourage you that I'm not always extra talkative to my husband. Sometimes I feel like I overtalk him and then I turn off the talking and I go completely silent because I'm just trying to explain how I feel. Maybe some of you can relate to that on here. I love words so much. But then also at the same time, when words aren't enough anymore and you just need to see action, imagine a weekend where you just need to start seeing some action and the couple is now needing to wait for Monday to come. Have you ever been in those situations where you're just needing Monday to arrive so the new week can begin and you can start to take action, but the problems happened on Saturday night, and until work gets here, you got about a day and a half that you got to treat each other with love and respect? You know, marriage is difficult, and it's also added in the holiday time. You know, Joshua and I, we've shared multiple times that our families are estranged or there's distance between the families. We've learned to look at distance not as hatefulness, but as peace. I hope that you can share in that with me. Maybe some of you get together with family, and when family gets together, you leave more confused, angry, and fearful that things will never change. Let me share with you that I have done those things before, and now the distance between the families has actually created peace. It's allowed for war to stop. It's allowed for continual daggers to be eating at either side. And even though you may feel badly for us that there is distance, know this: the responsibility for my life and the accountability that God has placed on me is whether or not my family is still alive and well or not. And so during the holidays, even though I know that they are alive and Joshua has confirmation that there's few people left in his family, let me share again that what we have learned throughout the year is the responsibility and accountability to be thinking through your feelings and learn to take action. If you had felt like the holidays have become commercialized, it's because it has. If you feel like things are taking precedent, like money spending and gift giving, and you're left feeling less valuable at the end of this very busy hustle bustle week, I want to encourage you that there are people out there like Joshua and I who will vouch for one of the hardest years of our lives, and we're still working through all that frustration. That doesn't mean that you will always catch us cuddling on the couch. Sometimes you just feel like you need some distance. That doesn't mean that we're always going to be stating the nicest words in the nicest tone, even on Christmas. So if we can be real people who want to serve the Lord, I wanted to share with you that we can relate to you when you're down. And we can also relate to getting a lot of gifts at Christmas, a few gifts at Christmas, or nothing. Please know that throughout the year, as we work on our value, which comes from Jesus, and accepting that behaving in a way where I can become the woman I want to be is not December 25th and how many gifts I buy for people. It is how much time and effort I put into the relationships and why I would buy gifts for people. Thank you so much for plugging into these videos. Not only is it great for me to get on here and to speak to people that I pray if you open up these videos that you will have one woman who can relate that I have made 1,000 mistakes. But I want you to understand it is so special to me when we start realizing that taking action doesn't always get us what we want. And so taking action means that we all need time to understand our feelings and our thinking. You know, this year is really tough, but this year has actually made Joshua and I better. So we will be looking forward to the celebration that we have in 2017 because we are telling 2016 she can go. We don't want her again. There was a lot of personal growth this year, and if anyone knows what personal growth is like, it's like becoming a bodybuilder. Your body's in a lot of pain, and you can't always see the change, but if you took a picture from the beginning of the year and the end of the year, you can definitely tell that there is some bodybuilding going on. But if you always ask the bodybuilder how he was feeling, instead of trusting the process, he would tell you that his body hurts, he's tired, and he's angry, he's cold, he doesn't want to go to the gym. But he has a goal in mind. And the same goal happened this year as Joshua and I were going through personal growth and becoming more accountable and more responsible to the people that we want to be and we believe who God wants us to be. Please know, don't give up. We aren't giving up either, but not every day is perfect. Not every day is perfect for sure. We have better days ahead of us, but those days mean that the days prior to what's coming, Joshua and I will be intentional in our walk with the Lord. We will be intentional in how we're serving each other, and that doesn't mean that we always feel right in those moments. Christmas can bring up so many things. First and foremost, it's the birth of our Savior. That is what we're supposed to be focused on. Whether anyone believes the date is the exact day that he was born, it is great to be focused on the fact that God gave us his Son, and we can remember what he has done for us. There's a lot of symbolism in celebrating Jesus' birth. We are to be giving gifts to the world, not to ourselves. And I pray that as you find value in the coming year, you will understand that there's people like Joshua and I out here that are going through struggle, but we don't sense the struggle as disappearing, becoming unvaluable, tearing down our self-worth. On the contrary, we've learned to work through those feelings, think through what's going on and what we're accountable to and responsible to change, and then act in a way that is appropriate in the future. If our actions can tell all of your sons and daughters, including you, that we serve a God Most High, not because we're perfect, but because we are willing to clean up our mess, that is the job well done. We were never going to bypass issues in America. But I do find it odd that no matter how many times families get together for things under the tree, do we get together any other time during the year when we're giving nothing? Are we too focused on the things and not the relationships that lead up to that day? Because I think that is the most important part of any walk in any human's life. It is how we treat ourselves and then how we relate to others around us and how we grow our relationships deeper. I've already gone too long on this video. I guess I needed to get on here earlier. Let that be an encouragement to you that we all make mistakes, and that prior to December 25th this year, Joshua and I, we have made our share of mistakes. But we are taking action, and sometimes you just need more time. But the commercialization of this holiday can make people think that things will change when the gifts are given. You know, and a lot of times that lets us down. So if you were let down this season, know that you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. That I believe the answer is taking into consideration we all have feelings and thoughts, but how are we acting? We need to start acting in a way that no matter who joins our family, they can sense we love the Lord. Thank you so much. My voice is a little froggy. Tune into the blog. I am going to be updating it. Share Passion to blog at blogspot.com, SHEER. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you soon.